Oh my God, that notification. Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel. Make this go viral. MTGVTV2. So we have a special guest in the building, Mr. Djjusjay of the AFC podcast. How are you?
I'm good. I want to make sure we do a mic check and make sure that you guys can hear my voice. Make sure that y'all can hear her. What's going on, V? How are you?
I'm doing good. I was trying to put some questions together and I said, you know what? I'm going to just be natural. I'm going to just ask things that I want to know
I like
without getting too much in your business.
Natural is great. Gotta love it.
Okay. So the first thing I want to ask you, I'm going to kind of surround my questions around YouTube because those are the things I want to know from you. So first of all, I want you to tell us about yourself. Who is Djjusjay?
Well, Djjusjay is a very simple person. I am a father first and foremost. So shout out to my daughter. But I have a background when it comes to my channel. So let me kind of explain how we get to where we're at. So there was a camp that I participated in as a kid from age 11 all the way up until about 18 years old called Kanakuk Camps with a K, Kanakuk Camps. It's a Christian-based organization in centralized in Missouri. And I got a chance to go there for summer camp for a lot of summers. Like I don't think I ever missed the summer pretty much most of my life besides the first year that they were actually open as a camp, which was really, really cool. I got a chance to participate in a leadership program, which basically puts you more on the teaching side of Christianity. And then from there, I got an opportunity because I was going to college in Kansas, and they just happened to be randomly out recruiting counselors, and people that I knew from my church had came up there and they recruited me. And they asked me, well, do you want to go to camp? I was like, absolutely, yes. So it was really cool. I got a chance to sign up. But I ended up being a youth counselor up there in what we call a lifer, which is basically the life of the camp the whole summer, which was really, really cool. So you're talking about at the time, there were 3 different camps available at this camp. And so you had as young as I think like 8 or 9 years old all the way up to maybe even age 18 between three different camps. So you're talking about me having an opportunity to minister to my younger group of kids all the way up to my teenagers. So I had, not only did I have a lot of experience doing that, but even like with my dating situations or whatever the case is, some of my earlier girlfriends, well, like once I graduated, had kids, because it's kind of one of them irresponsible things that we do as Black folk is we go out and have a lot of reckless sex and make a bunch of kids and things like that.
All right now.
So needless to say, I ended up dating women that had kids, so I became very attached to them. And I think one of my early relationships, right before I went to college, I had noticed, like, I was like, I really like kids. Like, this is really cool. So I've always had an affinity for somebody to, I guess, to kind of look up to me. I was actually the big brother in the family, so I'm the oldest in my family. So I'm kind of used to people kind of looking up to me and depending on me for certain things or whatever the case is. So I kind of fell naturally into this role. So how do we get to this podcast? Here's how we get here. Shout out to my brother, Tommy Sotomayor, because a lot of people be like, you talking about Tommy? Yes, I'm talking about the Tommy Sotomayor. Shout out to my brother. But I got familiar with him on YouTube, just kind of, I think I was randomly searching some stuff. He came up in a recommendation, fell in love with his content. I was like, this makes so much sense. And ended up watching him so much. I ended up calling into some shows. Really, really, just like a lot of people, became fans and eventually got to a point where we kind of partially communicated. I ended up going to a live show of his. We continued to communicate, became friends. He created some additional channels to kind of let people, like when this whole panel thing started, like what we're doing now. There was a point in time about 4 years ago when talking like this over YouTube was completely brand new concept. Nobody's seen anything like this. This is new for everybody. So naturally, more people had opinions and things like that. They want to get on and speak. So as that evolved, and more people came in and we're getting a chance to host these shows and things like that, Tommy gave us an opportunity and said, you know what? Why don't you guys take some of my channels and turn it into something? Y'all can have your own panel discussions. I don't always have to be here. I don't always have to host them. We can continue these discussions. So for me, my subject matter, like I'm a structured person. So I come from a customer service background. I have managerial experience. So for me, I like for things to be organized, right? Not everybody likes organization when it comes to freelance, having fun, get on the internet. They think it's about a bunch of, just shooting the breeze or whatever the case is. And sometimes that's cool. But for me, I'm kind of like, if we're going to have an opportunity to speak to the world, why don't we take advantage of it and talk about some things that matter, right? So for me, the thing that mattered the most to me are the kids. I mean, that's just my background. As you can see, I have on a t-shirt that has this little baby's face in there, or whatever the case is. We'll have to explain all of that a little bit later. But nonetheless, coming into it, I said, this is what I want my subject matter to be. I know people really, when I started hosting my own, I guess we call them shows, live streams, okay? And I found myself to be hard pressed for an audience, but I said, you know what? I'm going to continue to do these things. I think it matters. I think there's somebody out there that wants to hear about these stories of these children, bad things happening. Let's talk about some serious topics. And eventually, I was very blessed enough to be able to find a couple people that found a couple people that found a couple people. That's kind of the word of mouth, how things spreads. And kind of the beautiful thing about the YouTube algorithm is at some point they will recommend everybody for some audience. There's an audience for everybody out there, right? So I was very blessed to come into a group of people that shared my same mindset. And it can be a little bit difficult, but that's kind of how the channel was born. Was I just really wanted to talk about certain topics and ended up finding an audience. So there is a synopsis of who I am in a nutshell.
Wow. And I mean, pretty much you answered dang near 10 of my questions now, because I was going to ask you about Tommy, because I know that he helped you get a start, but I didn't know that it was already a channel created and you just made it be what it is today. But I remember I've actually been subscribed to Tommy for a very long time. He covered a case here, and that was long time ago. But I remember you. I remember seeing you on the show before. I remember every time he would come in, you would shout him out, so I knew that was like your big homie type thing.
Yeah.
And so that's what I was going to ask you too. Who do you look up to as a YouTuber, or who do you inspire to be like? Or
I wouldn't say I aspire to be like anybody. Who I look up to, definitely look up to Tommy. I mean, it's more than like a buddy thing. Like I feel like that's like, but you also have to remember, like he's like a brother to me. Okay, like we've spent time in person together. We've had conversations. What's that lame dude that used to be in the NBA? I forgot his name. The big 7-foot tall dude with the small hands.
Kwame Brown.
He talk about you don't know somebody until you shake their hand. Well, I've shook Tommy's hand multiple times. That is my brother, like in real life. So shout out to Tommy.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And so I wanted to tell the people in the chat, if you have a question you want to ask Djjusjay, ask him. You got the opportunity, because we don't get him like this every day. But one thing that I wanted you to know, because I noticed that one time I said it and you didn't really want to take the credit, but I want you to know you're one of the channel. You are a channel that I look up to. I love your setup. I love the way you do your show. When I first started watching you, it was a little rocky because you cleaned it up a little bit. You used to go hard on women.
Can you tell them that again? I want to make sure we stress that part.
Yeah, he used to go hard on women. He did, and you used to cuss too. But so I've been there. I've been with you for a very long time. You just don't realize. Even before you came to my group, Make This Go Viral on Facebook, I was already subscribed to you, and you were actually the first channel that I got a membership to and everything. But what I credit you for is that I always say that you're the reason why I do video editing, because I asked you to edit our video and I was afraid to even talk. Okay. So I have come a long way. I was scared to even talk. If you remember, I was like, I'm gonna have my daughter do it. Mm-hmm. And so it took me the longest to get it to you because I was scared. And then finally I did it and I found out that I really liked it. When I seen the video, I was like, I can do this. And that's what made me start doing it, because I started doing all the marketing and stuff in my mind. But you are the reason why I even started it. And then the channel and everything. Like
that's very humbling for me. I gotta say thank you, not only for expressing that, but I'm glad that if I was able to help in any type of fashion. I generally don't take credit for anything because I say it's not a me thing, it's a we thing, right? Because we do this together, and that's kind of the way that I live my life, because I know it's not just me doing it myself, right? So I've had a lot of help coming along the way. So I believe that if somebody helped me get a start or get anything moving in a momentous way, if that's even a word, to be able to get myself to this point, then I feel like it's my duty, it's my responsibility to make sure that I give back and help when I can, educate when I can, do what I can to try to help. Let me give you a tidbit of information that you may or may not know. Every time I turn on this microphone, I don't know if you realize that, or every time I said turn on the microphone, but yeah, turn on the mic and turn on the camera, I get very nervous. Do you know that still to this day?
I promise you, you are reading my mind. That was going to be one of my questions. Do you still get nervous about coming on camera? And if so, what is it? What is it that you're nervous about?
Every time I get on camera, I get nervous because I'm like, I don't want to mess this up. And the cold part about it is I end up doing this live. So it's not pre-written or anything like that. Like everything I'm going to say, as far as my thoughts and everything, is like all right then and there. Like I don't have it all written out, but I do have to take notes. I'm not good enough to really speak off the cusp like that. So I do have notes from time to time, not all the time, but it's just something about getting in front of because me being able to look directly at this camera right now, to be able to talk and feel like I'm actually talking face to face with a person, it takes time, it takes practice, it takes confidence really in yourself, right? So it really, for me, it just kind of took time, and it helps the fact that I come from a tech support world, a customer service world, a manager's like a store manager's world. You know what I mean? So a lot of that in-person experience with people really helped me out quite a bit. But yeah, I get nervous all the time.
Wow. Well, I feel good. I don't really get I guess it is nervous, but I don't like to call it that. But what it is, I try to talk myself out of it. Like I'll be like at work, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go live and I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna talk about that, and then next thing I know, I'll be like, I don't want to do it, or I'll set something and then I'll keep pushing the time back, and that's because I my biggest challenge is being live in itself because naturally I'm a laid back, quiet, calm person, and this makes me have to be the entertainer, which is not usually me in real life, but I'm at the same time I am me. This is how I act around people that I know. I'm just totally being me. But another question I wanted to ask is, what would you say is the case that got you that you say grew your channel? Because I believe every content creator has that one case that they cover that clearly grows them. What case was that for you?
So it's not a question I've ever been asked, but I knew it was something that was important to me. So I do actually have an answer for you. The Anaya Day Garrett, Aniya, Anaya Day Garrett out of Cuyahoga County, Cleveland, Ohio. And the entities that were involved were her father, who is Michael Garrett, with his name Michael is spelled really, really funny. It's not traditional. Her mother, Sierra Day, and her boyfriend, Deontay Lewis. Let me tell you another secret about me. My memory is trash, but I don't forget those details. How about that? I do not forget those details, especially for that story. So when people ask, as far as like the AFC podcast channel itself, I like to refer to it as that was the day that when I did that podcast, like the channel, that video is still up on the channel. If you go back and just type it in the search box, it comes right up. But that video, I said, this is what I want to do. That story touched me in a way, had me crying. It had me laughing. It had me upset. It made me think. It made me go through the entire gambit of emotions. And I said, this is important. This is definitely what I want to do. Like I always felt like I enjoyed talking about those stories and things like that. But that was the story where I feel like the AFC podcast was born, the Advocates for Children. I believe that children's lives matter. And if you go back and hear that story, matter of fact, a lot of people might not even remember that story when I just say the name. But if you remember a few years ago, there was a father that was all over social media. It was everywhere, where the father was in court screaming and hollering. He had the hat on or whatever the case is. And he was, like people was, I don't really know what people thought about it or whatever the case was, but almost everybody has seen that at some point in time. That's the story. When you deep dive into that story, it breaks your heart because that man was doing everything that he could to save his daughter. Even when people talking about, well, why don't you fight for your daughter? They always talk about you should fight for your kids, right? Well, it's funny how, and this kind of takes me back to kind of how I got my start when I people think I'm a little bit harsh on the female side, but I'm actually a pretty fair dude. I'm sure you know that by now. But you talk about a father fighting, and this father did everything that he could, not only trying to reason with the woman, them trying to work it out together, but he went through the courts. He had a family court date scheduled 4 days before his daughter ended up dying. And I think the mother believed that she was going to lose custody to the dad because he had all his ducks in a row. He had his lawyer together. He had his housing situation together. He even showed his daughter's bedroom, had bed for her, had painted the walls, decorations. This man was ready to be a father. And I don't think that the mother was in as great a position, and maybe she wouldn't look as good in court. And between the mother and the boyfriend, they beat that baby to death. They beat that 4-year-old girl to death and had the nerve to call 911 and fake do CPR on a dead baby. And I'm going to tell you something that just grabs your heart is when you listen to the 911 call and hear that baby's body being compressed and hear the air going in and out of this baby's lungs. A dead child. That does
Jay,
to you.
did you know that that is the story that got me talking about crime? Did you know that?
Did not know that.
And did you know that I have the biggest Facebook group for her?
Did not know that.
Wait, where's my camera?
I've seen a lot of those groups. I have definitely seen that one. Definitely seen that one.
This is my group.
Did
And
not
do you know how I start? Let me tell you. You just told a story. First of all, I've never told her story really because it's still hard for me. I will cry, okay? But what touched me about that story was everything. And but most of all, it was her father. Because number one, you don't see men out there like that. You could tell that he loved his baby. He had videos. That video in the car when he said, "Do you want to stay with daddy?" and she was saying yes, and he ended up taking her home and not keeping her, and that was just heart wrenching. And then to see him in court when Deontay looked at him and he said, "Don't look at me," and I was just like, "Oh my God!" I cried. I told my mother I'm in tears about it. So anyway, I said I want to follow this case. So I started looking up justice for Naya. I couldn't find it, so I created it. And when I tell you everybody was looking to follow that case, and if you want to know what makes a case go viral, is when you talk, because a lot of people don't be out they don't be before people and let them know what happened with their family members. They don't talk about it. So if people don't see you and see that you care, then they're not going to care. But I really believe that went viral because of the dad's reaction.
Yes.
But honestly too, after that, like I said, that was the first child case I had followed, and I had no idea that this stuff was happening as much as it was, right? So when I created that group, I said, I'm not showcasing any other case because I want to follow this from beginning all the way to end. And so, but I started feeling bad because people were trying to share their stories. And I'm like, so I said, do you ever wonder what make cases go viral and others don't? I said, I care about all cases. I want them to all go viral. And that's why I came up with Make This Go Viral. And so Facebook was the first group, spinoff group from Fight for Anaya. So that's funny that that's the story. I had no idea that that was a story that grew you because you were already here, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But what gave you the other boost you got? Because I think I know. Can you tell us how many times you've been featured on the news?
Oh, I know for sure once. I think people try to give me credit for being on the local news that people see on terrestrial TV like more than once, but I know for sure at least once. I damn near didn't even. I don't know why I wasn't thinking to talk about that story, but
the child and the dad, the girl and the dad had the same name. Tell us about that.
Oh wait, tell which one?
There was a case that I think
that's the one.
The news arrested. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Billy Simone Williams. That's the one. So you had Big Billy, which was the biological father. The little girl, I think she was 7 years old. That's Billy Simone Williams out of Stockton, California. And then you had Takesha Williams, who was the stepmother. I'm not going to even get into the details of that case. Y'all have to look it up on our channels, look it up in the groups.
As a matter of fact, if you can, if you do you know where exactly it is? Because I can find it or put the link in. But what I want, the part that I wanted to focus on was the fact that she talked herself into getting arrested from your show.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm excited. You can always tell when I get excited because this bright glow, this aura starts to form behind me and stuff like that. But anyway,
hey Dre the Dream, thank you for coming through, and hi to everybody.
Yeah, shout out to my brother right there, man. But it was really crazy because you got to remember where my background is. Everything that you know about me, you see play out on my channel in some shape, form, or fashion. My customer service skills. One of the first things that they teach you to do in customer service, what do you think it is?
Listen, let them talk, right? Listen.
Yep. So I knew that, especially because, so here's what happened. I was talking about the story, and sometimes family members will see different stories that we talk about because these stories are devastating. These people are hurt. it shows up in their media, their timeline, in the news. People will tag them and send them things and stuff like that. So it wasn't a surprise that somebody saw that I was live talking about a story that their family members were involved in. So they came in the chat. I offered them an opportunity. I said, if y'all want to come up and tell me what I have right or wrong, here's the link. Pull up. You can come. You can call in and talk about it. So I think we ended up having 3 or 4 different people call in. It was a lot. We were live for a long time.
I was there.
But needless to say, it was on the biological father's side. So naturally, because the stepmother was still at home at the time, and she's hearing all of these people telling all these horrible stories about her, so it prompted her to email me. So she sent me an email and was telling me, of course, like they all do, you got your facts wrong. Yous don't know what you was talking about. You was a coon, and she called me no coon, but anyway, but nonetheless, she shot me an email, and I told her, I said, well, look, if you feel like there's some information I have wrong, my platform is open to you. And so, of course, she talked about, her lawyer, this and that, blah, blah, blah. I was like, look, I'm not here to tell you what you can answer and what you can't answer. But if there's something that you want to say, if there's a message that you want to put out to my audience, then you have an opportunity to do so. Otherwise, these people are going to continue to keep saying what they're saying. So she agreed to come on. Of course, we had to do all the legal stuff. We took care of all of that. Prosecutor knows about all of the, because I think California is a one-party state. You have to gain consent before you bring somebody on. And whatever the case is, you just have to have consent. So we got all of that stuff out the way. So she came on, and most of what I was doing, listening, letting her talk, letting her tell the story. So once she got comfortable to a point, it's the first thing y'all see on First 48. What they do, they bring you a damn sandwich. They bring you want some Red Bull? We'll bring you some Red Bull. What you need? Need a cigarette? We'll bring you a cigarette, right? So I allowed her to kind of operate in her own space over a period of time. And the things that she said, actually, she was arrested based on the things that she said, based on her account of the details, based on the stories that she told. The prosecutor reached out to me and was like, hey, look, man, we definitely appreciate, what you did as far as getting her on. I made sure that they had the links to everything that they needed for, to build their case. And I don't know how the story, you know why? Because it was a big deal that she was arrested. So the only way that they could tell that story of how she got arrested was because she talked on my stream. And there was no way that they were going to be able to tell that story
without you. Yeah.
On California news, which was like, I was mind blown. It like, you remember when I talked about the gambit of emotions, how you feel everything? That story made me feel everything. It made me feel angry. It made me feel sad. It made me feel happy. It made me depressed. You know what I'm saying? It made me scared because I'm thinking like, this is a pretty deep thing, especially when you're talking about my show got somebody arrested. Like what? You know what I mean? But then you realize if there was somebody who hurt a child who cannot speak for themselves nor defend themselves against the tyranny of their caretakers, then it is our responsibility to put their behinds in jail or do our legal due diligence, our responsibility, and tell people what we know to protect our children.
Exactly. Something, say something. And so have you followed that case? Because they had to play your stuff in court, right? Has she gone to court? And I mean, what's up with that case?
That would be that's just tripping me out just thinking about it. I'm like, oh my God, like they're gonna play my show in court. Like that'd be crazy. But
they don't have to.
They're gonna have to. They're going to have to. But I actually reached out to let me see. I know damn it, I always forget this girl's name right when it's time to mention her name. She is gonna kill me. But me and her are Facebook friends. I'm actually Facebook friends with at least two of the family members on the dad's side. And shout out to them. I'm so sorry that I can't remember their names because I told you my memory is really bad.
Chart
But
it to your heart, not your mind, or your mind, not your heart.
so yeah, thank you. So but I do keep in touch with them, and I asked them, I said, whenever there's a court, like a major court date coming up, if y'all would let me know. So I haven't gotten a chance to follow it as good as I would like to, but I would like to actually, I would like to be there, to be honest with you, for one of those major court dates during the trial.
Yeah, I would want to be there
Like
too.
actually, like to actually take a trip and be there.
I mean, you was a major factor in this case. I mean, seriously. And then I don't think I seen a report on the news, but I remember hearing about it.
Yeah, I was very fortunate enough to that somebody sent me the link, so I was able to download it, saved it. It's really really cool. But let me tell you another tidbit of information. When it comes to this channel, a lot of times people think that, well, you're just recycling the news. You don't do anything. You need to get out, do something with your life, get a real job, and blah blah blah. Well, when people ask me, what is it that your channel does? That, what we just discussed, is one example among many things that have transpired since this channel has been in existence, where I can say, look at how we made an impact. Look at how we changed somebody's life. Look at how we advocate in real life for justice. That's something nobody can ever take away from us.
You know, no matter what you do, you gonna have those people that say you ain't doing nothing, and they the same ones that sitting up saying nothing and don't give a dang. You know, I had somebody come into my chat yesterday. Since I've been on here, it's been 13 months now, but I had this happen twice. Now, the first time it happened, I went clean off and I said, okay, I ain't gonna do that no more. But yesterday, I kind of went off too. But when I listened to it again, I didn't sound bad, but I did call the person out of their name and all kind of stuff. But I actually had fun with it. But my thing is, listen, I don't bother nobody. Don't come in here bothering me. But I'm saying all that to say, like, literally, I haven't had any issues with nobody. Okay, somebody tried to lie on me, but whatever. I mean, it's just funny how things happen. It's just those trolls. They just want to be a distraction. So I'm gonna try to do better with that. But I'm gonna have to. You probably seen the video because I made a little clip and I was cracking up when I made it. So I made fun out of it. But another question that I have for you is, have you gotten death threats? And if so, which I know you have, did you take them seriously? Did it scare you? Any of the threats?
I go nowhere without my gun. Best believe that. If you want to know if I'm strapped, you know I'm strapped. You ain't even got to ask no questions. So, have I received death threats? The simple answer is yes. The real question is how many times. I've lost count.
Okay. Where are these threats coming through? Like your messenger or your email or
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook inbox, email. Matter of fact, whenever I actually had to get rid of. We used to actually have a phone number, like one of those text me numbers, where before we were having people call in by way of the Google StreamYards. I would actually have a phone number that people could call. Had to get rid of the damn number. They started passing my number around.
wait, it was a real number, it wasn't a Google number?
Well, Google number, text me number, one of those free numbers that you could just create. Not my actual phone number. So
I mean, but they was just ringing your phone when you wasn't live, is what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So the next question is, where do you see your channel going? What are your goals for your channel? Have you reached them, or is it anything else you want to do with your channel?
I think I have some realistic goals. I think no matter where we end up, no matter how big it is, or if it, maybe plateaus at some point, I would love to get to a point. Let me give you an example. We can look at some people that go viral and they're getting viral and getting attention and getting views for really and really not contributing anything except a lot of hot air in the microphone, right? maybe a lot of wasted time and celebrity news and blah blah blah. Guess what J-Lo did today? She got some butt shots. You know what I'm saying? Like, who gives a crap?
Stuff that don't even matter. Distractions.
So I would assume that we all are going to have our time to go viral, to be recommended in the algorithm. People will get an opportunity to hear our voice. And I just believe that if you continue to do the work, you continue to do what's in your heart, I think it will manifest itself into what it's supposed to be. So I don't know where I'll end up, but I do know that my heart will always be for the kids. I will always continue to give back in my own way. And like I say, I want to make sure and build for something bigger than me. My goal is to always build for my daughter. And a lot of times people always ask me as far as they're always inquiring about what I'm doing for me. When what I'm doing is building for my daughter to have so she can build and multiply and be fruitful and give to the next generation. You see what I'm saying? But because that's really what we all are supposed to be doing for our children. You give them the absolute best start that you possibly can, allow them to build, give them a foundation, something to work with. And too many times, a lot of us, yes, too many of us don't give our children really anything to work with, which is also why I have this awesome t-shirt that you guys can follow the link for. It's called...
Yes, please explain that shirt and your website while you're at it.
You might not be able to see it very well, but it says Babies for Benefits. And that is a hashtag that came from the AFC. That's our hashtag, right? So what that means is that a lot of times people are having children only for the sole purpose of collecting benefits from those children as opposed to giving to those children. See what I'm saying? So people will have children so they can get food stamps, so they can get Section 8, so they can get some attention, so they can get some car vouchers, so they can get more back on their taxes, so they can keep control of a man, or whatever the case is. We're bringing children, or maybe even really just for their own deviant sexual desires, but it's all for the wrong reasons. It's never to create a legacy so these children can grow up and become something great, so you can maybe raise the next great president or whatever it is. We don't really bring our children into fruition with anything important in mind. So I think that the best thing that we could do is make sure and set our children up to achieve success in the maximum way possible. Life, we only get to do it one time, and we need to maximize every single ounce of our potential, and that's what we need to be putting into our children.
And I just want you to know, sometimes I do use the hashtag, but I always say shout out to you. Shout out to you, the AFC podcast, because I know that one came from you. Now, I can't give you credit for the you see something, you say something, because that been out.
I'm still in that one.
That been out.
I've been trying to claim credit for that one. They won't let me have that one.
Nope. I know this one is yours, though. I'm going to go to a quick commercial right quick, guys. But please put some questions in the comments for Jay. I want y'all to ask him something. We got him up here. So give me 1 second, Jay. You can cut your camera off, too.
Okay.
I am Miss V, crime reporter, website promoter. If you are interested in showcasing your website, hit me up in my DM on IG, and we can discuss all the details of showcasing your business, doing a commercial, and running it on my show for a couple of months, as well as promoting you on other social media sites. If this sounds like something that you would be interested in, DM me right now and type in the comments, I am interested. And let's talk. Let's talk about your business. Let's showcase your business. exclusive new products that you will only see on my website at www.sayitwithchess.com. These products are made special by my mother, Keyline Designs. The hoodie blankie, the face mask, as well as the 4-in-1 African head wrap. Now the way it works, it is a reversible bonnet. It has a headband that you can wear alone. It has a matching face mask as well. Please be sure to go over to our website and check out these nice new products that you will not find anywhere else.
All right, guys. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, please go check out my website, www.sayitwithchess.com. And also, if you have a website and you would like for me to promote it, get in touch with me via IG. The link is in the description box. So, Jay, have you ever thought about doing panels? Because I've wondered why you don't do panels at all.
I come from the panel world. Like that's kind of how I got started. That's kind of how my channel got started. Just don't have any desire to do it. I'm cool on it. And it's just really hard to really get everybody on the same page. You don't really know what people's motives are. You know, you got people that backstab you and talk crap about you. And for me, it wasn't a beneficial thing. Like I tend to work with people a little bit better, kind of in my own capacity. And just for me, panels, just like I said, it's too much. It's just too much.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen them get out of control too, and I could see that it could be a, you know, a area where you fall out with people or whatever. So it's almost like you really don't want to build any relationships here. You just okay. Well, too bad. I'm your friend. You got one here, okay?
Now I will. So here's the thing, though. But I always tell people when my stories come up, everybody has an opportunity. Like if there's something I say that a person disagrees with, or if they are a family member that's involved in a story that I'm talking about, if I'm live, they always have access to like, hey, type something in the chat, hit up one of the moderators, let them know there's something you want to get on there and say, and I will open up the StreamYard so they can hop on and speak their mind. They don't even have to be on camera, but they can be heard. We can interact. We've actually quelled a lot of arguments in the chat because somebody might think one thing, and I'm like, you know what? If you get a chance, come on this StreamYard, call in from any device that you're on, long as we can hear you. And we've actually fixed a lot of problems just by having simple conversations. So I will do that. Or if I do a specific interview, and I think I actually might have one that I need to try to schedule with the gentleman that actually is the father in one of my recent stories.
Yeah, I was on when a person called in, and oh, it was that girl, the auntie, crazy ass auntie that had her niece and nephew in a freaking trunk. And you had a guy call in that said he had rode in that vehicle and all that. I was like, whoa, is this gonna be another case where the news get involved and somebody else get arrested? Like what?
That was
okay.
Crazy. And
so here's the question.
Shout out to that brother. You know, he seems like a good dude. He did reach out to me in an email or whatever the case is, but he felt like, I think it was his first time watching our channel, but he was inspired and he actually asked me like, hey, what are some things that I could do to be an advocate in my city and where I live at? So I thought that was really cool.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. That's good. I'm glad that he was inspired, and I hope he do something with it, because he probably feel bad knowing that was the case and he didn't push harder after smelling that. But I don't blame him at all. I mean, yeah. So here's a question from Leslie Lane. She said, what about the Tiffany Moss case? Very sad. Happened around the same time as Anaya.
I do remember that. Let me see if I can look it up real quick while we'll do this on the fly. Ooh,
okay.
I remember his face. Let me see. All I need to do is see a picture. See if I can remember which. Yep. There's the thumbnail that I used. Let me see if I can look it up real quick. I'm gonna be honest, like I think we have almost about 1,000 videos on the channel. So y'all have to forgive me if I have trouble because I know that V did ask for y'all to ask me questions. So I'll do as best as I can to try to recall this.
Now you do have 1,000 videos because I just looked. I got 1.3K, but you do all lives. You do more lives than uploads, right?
Oh yeah.
Way more.
Yep. Yep.
And I just found out you have like 5 other channels or something like that. I was like, what the heck?
I do some things on the back end.
I didn't know you gamed and all that kind of stuff. Hey, it's look, all I did was went to your YouTube channel, went to your channels, and I found it. I didn't even know.
You weren't supposed to be looking that deep, girl.
Listen here, I said let me dig into something I might not know, but I just decided I'm not gonna ask you anything personal. But one question while you're looking for that, I do want to ask, do you have any suggestions to give me to help me grow? Is it anything you see that I need to improve or anything that I'm not doing?
I wouldn't say that. I would say as far as like if there's anything I could offer you, I will offer you the same encouragement that I offered many people that come from our remember when we were talking about the panels, come from that panel world where we kind of all got our start. I will offer you the same thing that I offered them. Whatever is in your heart, talk about what's in your heart and do it from your heart, and you will reap the benefits and you will be fruitful. Do it from your heart. Whatever.
That's good. That's a good one because that's actually what I just told somebody, that do what you're passionate about and the people will gravitate to you. You don't, when you're trying to start something for the first time, you don't go off of your audience. After you build your platform, then you kind of go off of your audience, but you got to have your own idea first. I see a lot of people go live and they ain't talking about nothing. I'm like, you might want to get a topic. Like, I mean, because I'm not used to those type of live streams. I want to hear something. I want to learn something. You know what I mean? Did you find it?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I'm trying to find a synopsis, like a general. Damn.
Okay. Now let me ask you this: how old is it? How long ago? What's the date on it?
It looks like she was convicted of murdering her in 2019, but it looks like she was murdered in October of 2013. She was murdered in October 2013, but this mother starved her daughter to death. Or excuse me, she wasn't a mother, she was a stepmother. She was a stepmother. Let me see. Tiffany Nicole Moss, who was the stepmother, born in 1983, so she was born the same year that I was convicted of murdering Imani in 2019 and was subsequently sentenced to death. You know how serious that is. That's like,
I'm sure I've seen that case too, but I can't think of it. I can't think of it either.
That's generally first degree. That's generally what first degree murder will get you. That's pretty damn serious. It doesn't get much more serious than that. But I do know that the video, and I'm gonna tell you something because because I don't know if you could tell, I'm kind of like a well-rounded brother physically. Like I like to eat, you know what I'm saying? I'm a fat boy at heart. So I'm always eating. Y'all can see I got me a plate of food over here. I'll be eating during the breaks. I'll be eating in bed and all this kind of stuff. But I'm gonna tell you guys something. One of the things that bother me the most out of any story that really resonates with me is when I find out that these parents starve a child. It's one of the worst things that you can do. I mean, mistreating a child, period, is bad. But I just think it's just a little bit more evil when you starve a child that can't speak for themselves, can't defend themselves. They can't go out and get a job. They can't earn money to buy food. They literally depend on you for every single thing that they get. And you allow them to die a slow death like that. It's a painful death. It's a feeling of lostness, if that's even a word, despair, hopeless. Um, it's just one of the worst feelings in the world. So it really bothers me. And I'm gonna tell you something. Like when people ask me for money, I'll just give you a general example of maybe like a homeless person. So when a homeless person asks me for something, they be like, hey, "Can you give me some money?" I'm like, "Nah, can't do it. All I got is I got a credit card. Can't help you. Can't do nothing about that." But when a person comes and asks me, like, "Brother, I'm hungry. Can you help me get something to eat?" I will take my last dime and make sure that that person has some food, something to drink, and I generally will allow them to get as much as they want to. I cannot stand for people not to be able to eat. That is one of the most.
You know, it just dawned on me that I know that case, and I actually did a story on it because I think the little girl was she was like handicapped in some kind of way, right? And her parents was fat. So yeah, I remember that case, and it's on one of my other channels. Um, hey, superstar Bella. So Bella says, "How are these people out here killing children? If you don't want children, don't have them. If you don't want a man with children, don't date a man with children." Exactly.
I'm gonna tell you something
Do it.
cool about that because sometimes people will post things like that and they want you to elaborate about it, or maybe you might want to hear their thoughts. So for me, a lot of the times when I speak on the stories that I talk about, or I might give my opinion about something, you know what? Some of those people will ask, they'll be like, "Well, what's the solution?" The solution is generally in the statement that I just made. So just like with that comment that they just posted in the chat, that's the solution. If you don't like kids, if you don't want to provide for kids, if they're too expensive, you don't have money for life insurance, you got to open a freaking GoFundMe to bear, because we're all gonna die. If you got to have a GoFundMe for a burial, then you probably should have not had those kids. If you
I'll
have
be right back, Jay. I just got a phone call and it just knocked my volume out. So I'll be right back.
okay, I will wait
Keep
for it.
talking though.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna turn this into my channel right now. But shout out to you guys in the chat. If y'all are listening, please help us out. We're trying to spread the word on this channel. If y'all would, please click that thumbs up. It helps share Miss V's channel, make this go viral TV. So if y'all would show her some love, that would be awesome. Like I said, I would love for her to continue to grow this channel. That'd be really, really cool. But back to what I was saying, as far as starving children, it's just like, I think it's like one of the worst things that you could do. But I generally don't think it's a good idea to give somebody just flat out just money. I don't never believe that throwing money into a problem is going to solve anything. Like, I believe that you should come up with something constructive. And I believe that if a person has food, has water, has sustenance, that will give them energy, that will calm their body aches, their headaches, or whatever the case is, that will allow them to live and see another day. And I think that at some point, if a person is able to eat and drink and sleep every day, they'll eventually want to bring themselves naturally out of the situations that they're in. So I think it's a common sense solution. But I always tell people this, just like I used to tell my mom, and I'm glad that she finally understood where I was coming from. But I used to tell my mom, I'm just like, now, if you turn around and give this homeless person on the corner $5 and everybody that pulls up get him $5, what you think they're going to be turning around and doing the very next day? They're going to be waiting on that same money the next day and the next day and the next day. And all they're doing is just fueling the thing that keeps them where they're at. But you give a person food, you give a person water, sustenance, it will force them to be something different than what they are. In turn, we can elevate each other with the simplest things. Tell somebody that you love them. Act like you care about somebody other than yourself. Be a selfless person. Hopefully,
Miss Alice, you such a sweetheart. Oh, Jay, thank you for holding it down. I never doubted you would, but you was like saying all the things I forget to say. So thank you so much. And I appreciate anybody who subscribes. We really are trying to grow this channel. YouTube kicked me out of my main channel. So I already had these channels created, so I just popped on over here, and I'm happy that I did have them created. So Miss Alice says, I have been following her for a while, Jay, and I love her just like I love you, and I love you back, Miss Alice. Thank you. I'll go give them food. I'll go buy him food, or I'll go home and cook food. So it don't look like it's no questions.
You know what they say about cooking? Like cooking and food is good for the soul. And the soul is really where we need to get to the root of making this world a better place, because that's where a lot of people are being failed at, is what's on the inside.
Is there anything else that you want to share with us, Jay? I just want to say, guys, I have another interview coming up at 4. If you could come back at 4 o'clock, that's in less than an hour. I'll be interviewing a lady named Twixie Baby, and I met her on an app called Stereo. So is there anything else you want us to know, Jay?
I mean, I could do this all day long. So
are you telling me you'll come back one day and do a story with me or something? Hey, we don't have to do it on your show.
I don't mind. I'm all for it. Like I say, I'm all about whatever we could do. I'm with it. But I definitely appreciate you, reaching out to me, being patient with me and my little hectic life and schedule and stuff like that. But I'm glad we got a chance to kind of sit down, chop it up a little bit. I'm really kind of hoping that, not only that we bring some more people over here, and like I say, it's just all about growing. We continue to keep doing this thing. You're going to grow. It's just a matter of time. You know what I'm saying? But
now, I'm sorry, Jay. One thing I did want to know is, how did you make this go viral on Facebook, or it just, because I don't know how you got there. I was already following you.
Probably by way of the group, I think. Because I think Michael Garrett was in your group, is he not? Because that's the biggest group.
Well, he was in Fight for Anaya in the beginning. He came in, but he had created his own group too.
Okay, so it probably like that.
Because I'm like, I don't know, but somehow I just start. You're the only content creator YouTuber that I allow to post videos in my group too. So you got special privileges, and I got special privileges over there on your channel. And I appreciate you, everything you've done, the inspiration you give me, the motivation, and the fact that you play my commercial on all of your shows. That's what's up, man.
The love reciprocates. So it is really cool because, like I said, I just believe it's just a matter of time. And I think that, how they say, like, money will reveal who people really are. And I just think that once we come into a level of becoming successful in, whether it be our business, whether it be just in family or YouTube or whatever the case is, I think we're just going to continue to just keep growing who we naturally are. And so it's natural for me that as people show me love, I give that love right back. So that love reciprocates from me to you. Like I say, from my heart to yours. Definitely appreciate you. And thank you for having me on. Truly, truly appreciate it.
I feel the same way. You get the energy that you put out there. And if you want somebody to support you, be a supportive person. And that's basically what I'm doing here, building a community, because what I want is a crime community. People that's doing what I'm doing, and I want to have, well, we've already done it. Like, we've had 2 of them already, Zoom content creator support team meetings. I think that's important for a lot of the smaller channels, which is me, that I'm grown, but it's channels even smaller than me. And I just want us all to build and grow, and don't get discouraged. You can talk about your challenges. You can give a jewel. And then if everybody do that, we'll grow, and just realize that you're not alone. And that's something that you don't see a lot in our community. So I wanted to be a light there. Here's a question, Marie. Well, first I wanted to read. Miss Alice said, I was homeless before, so I know what it means to be without food. And then Marie Kennedy wants to know, when is your next live?
What's today? Tuesday? Because I do got some other things. I'll just say it like that. I do got some other things going on outside between work and my personal stuff. But I'm gonna probably spend some time trying to put it together now, so that way when I am able to get back here, I'm hoping that maybe we could do something this evening if I feel like time will permit. Like if it's early enough, like where I feel like I'm on Central Time, so I think our time frame is a little bit different. But I
Just
usually
an hour off.
sometime between 8 and 10 p.m. If we can get started sometime around there, cool. If it's going to end up being really, really later than that, then I'll try to save it for the next day because I don't want to have nobody up trying to support the channel and trying to watch and listen. And here they are losing sleep at 1 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I just want you to know that I miss a lot of your shows because you come on too late. Because usually I'm in a bed by 7, but sometimes you see me a lot, so I do catch them a lot, but I miss a lot too.
So
So
depending on that. It'll be dependent on that. So I would hope this evening if I can get the stories put together, and it definitely helps the fact that people have already emailed me stories that they feel like they want to hear our opinion on. So I'm going to be doing that as well.
So yeah, that is something. Two things that I wanted to know. How do you get your stories? Do they mainly come from people, or do you find them yourself? And then go ahead and answer that, and I'll think about the other one.
I'd say 75% probably be a good number come from my email, just from people that know the email and they send stories. I had to tell some people like calm down with how many stories they send. Like it's asinine when you think about like, damn, it's that much crimes against like, and I'm not talking about celebrity news. I'm talking about just with crimes on children. I could have one person send me 13 different stories a day, just one person.
Okay, well, if you got active people like that, have you ever thought about starting a group, the AFC podcast on Facebook, and have people share stories there, and you can just get them from the group and not have to worry? Because that's actually, I mean, I put a lot of stuff in the group. That's where I started from, just sharing news. So I every morning I share to my groups, and but my information comes from that, from me looking at the news or from something being posted, Rose posting something and make this go viral.
A lot of times they'll try to find shortcuts to get to catch my attention. Like they might tag me. I prefer my email. Like I never want people to tag me on social media like that, but they will tag me from time to time. I'll catch it like that. I might just be scrolling through stories, watching the news like everybody else does and see something. But I also got to give a shout out to Illicit Deeds, who sends me quite a bit of stories. And Illicit Deeds does very similar to what you and I do. And also has a YouTube channel as well. So you might, if you get a chance, I could link y'all up so you could chop it up with her. But as many times as you've heard me shout her out, it's because a lot of the stories I've gotten from her, and she's already picked out the details and already wrote articles on them.
Oh, wow. Okay. I hear you say that name all the time, but I just subscribed to Leave It to Beaver or Bieber, because I hear you saying that name. But Alyssa D's, I don't. Yeah, I would like to get her linked then.
Yeah, we have what I like to call a few good friends out there, man. Really, really dope people that share their passion is very similar to ours, and they don't always have to do the same thing that we do. Mm-hmm. But like I say, they find what their passion is and they talk about it. And I think they're really, really dope people. And those are two of many people. You need to chop it up with a relationship rehab. Maybe even if you get a chance to, man, Tommy is an open book.
Who's an open book?
Chop it up with Tommy sometime if you get a chance.
Okay. So Catherine says you should do a recap on Summer Wells case. Have you done that at all? And it is getting crazy. I got a whole playlist of Summer Wells on my other channel, which you can find it in the description box. It's the one with almost 2K. I have a whole playlist of Summer. But yeah, I mean, I follow all of that. The interview room is where all the juice comes from. So have you covered that, Jay?
I will tell you this. I might not stay up with the latest and greatest of each and every story, but let me say this, especially about Summer Wells. I'm thankful that we have that collective of people that will share that, talk about that, constantly following up on that. So like I say, I'm glad, because remember, it's not a me thing, it's a we thing. And I feel like we're doing this together. So maybe you might not be able to get the updates from me, but guess what? We know somebody that you can get it from. Absolutely. And there's people.
Yeah, everybody come. I mean, the latest was his sister and niece coming out telling all that the bad stuff that he did to the his own sister, stepsister, molested her from 5 all the way to 12 years old. So disgusting.
Yeah.
So anyway.
But yeah, I'm definitely glad that, you know, there are a lot of different, especially if it's something as simple as like those Facebook groups. It allows those people to be able to group, follow the stories, keep each other updated, maybe even let you know when somebody's going to go live and talk about it and stuff like that. So like I say, you know, I don't try to make myself the central focus of really anything. Like I said, I just see certain things and I'll give my thoughts about it.
But I don't know if you answered me or if I just wasn't paying attention when I asked you, have you ever thought about creating a group and have people share information there?
We have one.
You do have one. Oh, that's what Dre was saying. We are on Facebook. Well, I need to get in your group. I don't think I'm in it.
I don't think it's like the no, yes, actually it is. It's the same type of group. Not the same type.
Okay, well, never mind, because I can tell you really don't work that group like that.
No, it's
yeah.
Miss June Bennett created that, and what a lot everybody in that group, I think everybody has access to be able to post stories and leave comments in that group. But it's relatively small. I get maybe 2 or 3 requests a day, and we'll just hit the add button, add anybody that wants to come in there.
Oh shoot, because you don't advertise it, but if you advertise it, more people will be there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I agree.
But you probably don't want that, because then that's something else you got to manage, right?
I'm a busy guy. You know, I'm doing the best that I can. But another thing is you also have to remember this. Like, people try to find the shortcuts to reach me. My email address is the best place to reach me. So if I'm on Facebook, what makes you think that they're going to email me?
Yeah, and then I hate email. Like, I know everybody use email. I hate email because I never really paid attention to it. So the best way to reach me is on IG. If anybody want to reach me, want to do a collab with me or anything like that, join my support team meetings.
Not when people be randomly calling your flight when your phone start ringing, when they call you and trying to video call you on Facebook Messenger and stuff. I'm like, whoa, like, who is he? You know what I mean? So
right.
I definitely don't want to funnel people to something that's more personal to me, as opposed to with the podcast. Like, anything that's podcast related, I generally try to relate it to my email. And I've actually surprised some people with that email. Like, you would think that I get bombarded, and sometimes I do get bombarded with emails, but I actually respond to a lot of people. I've actually gotten people that have said, like, oh my God, I didn't know you were going to respond. And I'm like, yeah, you wrote me, didn't you?
So, okay. So I know how to get in touch with you if I really want something, because you're right. It is hard to get in touch with you.
I am in that email daily. Yep.
Okay.
So I do the best I can to make sure I don't get 90,000 unread emails. Like, look, I just, matter of fact, even for my daughter's email, I had to help her clean her Yahoo out one time. Like, I'm just like, where are you getting all these? Like, you know what I mean? Of course, a lot of it was spam, but you know, a lot of us, if you've had your email for any significant amount of time, get a ton of unread emails.
That would be me, and then I got multiple emails on top of that.
Yeah,
so I pretty much really don't. I gotta say, I've started checking it more now because I have a website. So, and that's the one other thing. Your website, what do you sell? Just you sell shirts like that, and it's another type of shirt you have on there too, right? A couple other shirts.
The links to all of that stuff is in the description box of each and every video. So if you go to any video, I think you'll find like all of my significant links in there. But for like the t-shirts and stuff like that, I was just making that stuff for myself. And people were asking me, and they was like, well, I want that shirt. Can you make me one? And I would make people individual shirts and mail them out. And I was like, you know what? I really, for a lot of different reasons, I don't want to do it like that anymore. But and then they get your return address too. So you know what I'm saying? So I said,
not if you have a P.O. box.
I don't have a P.O. box.
I remember you saying because people don't send you nothing, so why get a P.O. box? But I actually had the P.O. box before I even, like, right as I was, it's like I was preparing to do this. So I did get a P.O. box. It's not too bad at all.
But
yeah, you're right.
Basically why I created the t-shirt link was because I was making designs and wearing them, and people wanted those shirts. So I said, I'll just put all my designs up, and if they want them, they can just go to a certain place and get them.
Yes, and that shirt is, I want that shirt as soon as I can get it. I'm getting one in red. Yep. Babies for benefits. That's a good one. That's a good hashtag. And I know that's you.
Matter of fact, you know another reason why I had, and I'll let you go right after this. Another reason why I had to make these t-shirts, and this is just full transparency, because I noticed that people were starting to go to other YouTube channels and repeat my quotes. And I said, now how the hell, now if they won't let me claim credit for see something, say something, I said, what's to stop them from taking any, like the ones I actually did create? So I said, let me give myself a timeline, and you could actually go back in my videos and watch when did Jay first start using these sayings and these hashtags. And the t-shirts are a great way to help me do that.
Yeah, you can also go get it trademarked.
Not paying for no, I'm not paying no $7,000 for no for phrases. Like, I don't know if you know how complicated that is. I actually looked it up because I thought about it. I was like, that's probably a good thing to do. You have to prove the time frame. You have to like send them all these type of links, and it is expensive. So anybody that does that, kudos to y'all, because that is and then you have to do it for every phrase. I'm like, man, shoot.
7,000? Yeah, I would. Yeah, that's a bit much.
Thousands of dollars to try to and that's to try to trademark a saying.
But it ain't just trademark. It's something else you can do. Well, I can't think of it right now.
Copyright, trademark.
Copyright.
It's all kind of along the same legal terms. It's still stuff that you have to really invest in.
I actually reached out to a lawyer, so I'm gonna reach back because I'm interested. But if it's nothing else, hey, you found out you was on the road there. We're gonna have to catch up a little bit more often. But thank you for being super cool and so supportive. I really appreciate you.
It's all good, sister. Thank you so much for having me on. Please make sure you guys subscribe to Make This Go Viral TV, MTGV TV. If you guys would do her a favor, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to her channel, to every channel that she has to create. It happens to all of us. I've gotten flagged before and knocked me off for a week. It happens. So don't go telling them I got backup channels now.
Too late.
I've already built backup channels that are actually already ready to go live. You in this industry, you absolutely have to make sure, because the things that I say are not
Thank you, Dre.
your sensibilities.
All right, Jay. Well, I look forward to your content. I'll see you in the comments.
All right. Much love, V. Thank you.
Right back at you. Peace.
Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Make This Go Viral. Come join me for our very first viral content creators meeting. Let's bounce ideas off of each other. Let's talk about what frustrates us about being a creator. Let's talk about our challenges, our good things that we have about our channel. Let's explore more things on how to grow together. Join me by commenting below, count me in, and we will set up a time and date to do a live panel to discuss everything involving YouTube. Let's go. If you would like to get in touch with me about anything, please contact me. Follow me on my IG page, which is Make This Go Viral TV Business and Networking page, Miss V of MTGV TV. If you want to hit me up about anything, we can discuss it here. If you need my help with any type of app, if you want to display your business, if you just want to if you want to link up with me on a live, anything concerning YouTube, business, anything, hit me up here, guys. Hit me up here. Follow me on IG, and I'll follow you back. I am Miss V, crime reporter, website promoter. If you are interested in showcasing your website, hit me up in my DM on IG, and we can discuss all the details of showcasing your business, doing a commercial, and running it on my show for a couple of months, as well as promoting you on other social media sites. If this sounds like something that you would be interested in, DM me right now and type in the comments, I am interested. And let's talk. Let's talk about your business. Let's showcase your business.
So since it didn't end like it was supposed to, because it's acting up, I want you guys to know I have another interview in 30 minutes. So if you ain't doing nothing, come back and hang out with us, please. Thank you.